Hey everyone, so in today's video I wanted to jump on here and give you a review of a product I think is super hyped up right now, and it's the Bite Beauty Changemaker Supercharged Micellar Foundation. This is Bite Beauty's first complexion launch, so congratulations to Bite Beauty. They released a foundation as well as a powder. I am exclusively reviewing the new foundation. I've seen so many of my favorite YouTubers really rave about this formula, so I was so excited to try it out, especially because they said that it was a really skin-like finish. I love the texture of my makeup to be very skin-like. I don't care what it is, whether it's a cream blush or a foundation. I really want my skin to look like skin. That for me with any of my complexion products is definitely number one. I was so excited to try it out for you guys. So if you do enjoy today's video, definitely make sure to give this video a thumbs up. I hope this video is super helpful, and with all of that, we will jump right in. The new Bite Beauty Changemaker foundation retails for $39. You get an entire fluid ounce in here. It comes in 32 different shades, which is definitely great. I personally have the shade L15, and I do find that it is a decent shade match for me, though it is a little bit on the peachy side. I'll show you guys a swatch just so you can see how it looks out on my hand. So Bite Beauty is saying that this is a really new innovative formula for a clean beauty foundation. This has a buildable medium coverage, which is definitely my preference. I really like a medium coverage in most of my foundations. And Bite Beauty says that this has micellar technology within it to really mimic the texture of skin, which I love. As I mentioned before, I really need my makeup to look like skin. And if my makeup doesn't look like skin, I just never feel like I am as confident as I would be. Bite Beauty also says that this is sensitive skin approved. Now I will say that that is not an FDA regulated statement. So again, this is just what Bite Beauty is claiming. Now let's talk about the packaging really quick. Won't stay here too long because it is just a basic squeezy tube, really great for travel. And I love when foundation comes in a tube like this, really sanitary. And I love the very basic sleek packaging that Bite Beauty always does. As for the texture of the product, I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Skin Tint. The texture of this product reminds me quite a bit of that. It is more of a gel cream, so if you apply it to the back of your hand, it has that gel cream texture. It's not going to immediately run down your hand. I don't think that it is an incredibly thick or difficult to blend foundation by any means. So props to Bite Beauty on that. So as I mentioned before, the reason I really wanted to try this foundation is that the finish was supposed to be somewhere in the middle. It's really difficult to find a foundation that really is a true middle skin-like finish. They tend to lean a little bit more dewy or tend to lean a little bit more matte. And most that are in the middle are more of like a natural sort of creamy finish, but this one truly is a skin-like finish, which I really enjoy. Now, I personally have dry skin. I was interested in seeing how that finish would look on my skin, and personally, I find it to be very flattering. It's not reflecting back a lot of light, and it truly just ends up looking like the skin. Now, that is in part due to the finish. I also do think that the texture and the way that this ends up looking on the skin does help that out as well. I really like the way that this looks on my skin because it just looks like skin. I know I'm gonna say skin a lot in this video, so I apologize if that gets annoying, but I really do like that it does definitely mimic the skin's texture. Now, if you have more dry skin, I don't think that you need to worry about this clinging to a lot of dry patches, but I don't think that if you're looking for a really dewy and sort of refreshing foundation, that this is going to give you what you're after. I personally really like the way that it looks on my dry skin, and I think some of you, if you have more combination skin, you find that some days you're a little bit more oily, some days you're a little bit more dry, and some days you're kind of in the middle. This foundation is going to look good no matter where your skin is at. So I really think that those of you with combination skin will really enjoy the finish of this product. But on top of that, I think that this really blends nicely on the skin. Again, because it really likes to mimic the texture of your skin, it's easy to blend. It looks really pretty on the skin. If you want a medium coverage with a texture that also looks like skin, I think this is a really nice option. And I do think that this is a medium coverage. I have built it up a little bit on places like my cheeks. I don't think you can get this to a full coverage, but I do think that the pigmentation is there. And I also like the way that this product wears. I do find it actually quite long wearing. If you're one of those people with dry skin and you're looking for a long wear foundation that isn't going to look really heavy on your skin, I also think that this is a nice option. The only place I ever find that it settles is a little bit around my nose, but nothing that I would completely steer clear of the foundation for. I think it looks really pretty on the skin even if you are wearing it for a long period of time. But there are some things that I don't like about this foundation, and these are things that I actually haven't seen other people talk about. I hate to make a disclaimer within this video, but I know with a lot of hyped up products, people have very intense opinions about them. But again, this is a review, this is my platform, and I really think it's important for me to tell my viewers my actual honest experience with the product. Bite Beauty claims that this is a sensitive skin approved foundation. The FDA doesn't regulate a claim like that, and personally, with my experience, I do think that if you have sensitive skin, you should pick up a sample of this before you just dive in. And again, I do think that there is a little bit of a misconception that clean beauty is better for your skin, and especially with a product like this, I don't think that is necessarily the case. And let me explain why. This foundation is pretty heavily fragranced. Now, I am not typically a person that wears a foundation and immediately notices a fragrance the way that other people do. Some people have said, oh, that foundation is really, really heavily fragranced. I can't believe you didn't notice it. Our noses are all so different, but I find that this is incredibly fragranced. And I looked at the ingredient list. There are a couple of natural fragrances. There's chamomile as well as limonene fragrances, and I thought that that is exclusively what I was smelling. But when I took a second look, there is actual just fragrance in here. When I first applied this product, that's the first thing that I noticed, that this is an incredibly heavily fragranced product, which is, I have to be honest, really, really disappointing, because it's not one of those fragrances that eventually dissipates as you wear it on your skin. I personally still notice it. And on top of that, the first time that I applied this to my skin, I actually felt a bit of a tingling and a stinging, which rarely happens with me and foundation. I have to be honest with you guys, I rarely get that sensation when I apply foundation. Could have been that my skin was a little bit off that first day I tried it out, but the second time that I did try this out, I did still get a little bit of that tingling sensation, as well as the third time. But it wasn't as severe as the first time that I had tried it. That first time that I tried it, I only wore it for a couple of hours and then took it off because I was afraid of how my skin was going to react to it. I did have a pimple in an area that I don't typically get pimples. Again, I don't really feel comfortable saying that it was definitely this foundation that did it, which is why I am also not wearing the foundation today. I don't believe in putting my skin at risk for aesthetic reasons, at least with makeup. I don't feel comfortable putting something on my skin that I am pretty sure would sensitize my skin, just because I think that the formula is really pretty, and I do think the formula is innovative as well. And as I was mentioning before, with fragrances are so personal. When I apply this to my skin, I can smell it for the entire time that I am wearing it. But when I asked my boyfriend to smell this and I said, you know, do you smell it? Is it very, very fragranced? He's like, no, I definitely smell fragrance, but it isn't incredibly intense the way that you are smelling it. So again, this is all very personal. And again, with a really hyped up product, I am disappointed that this did end up being my experience. I really, really love the formula. I love the way it looks on my skin. I know that my skin doesn't love it as much as I do. I would rather go for foundations I already know and really enjoy the formula of. Thinking of skin-like foundations like the Kosher No Aqua, my skin really loves and appreciates that foundation. It's water-based. And I do want to again mention that I'm not typically someone that is sensitized by foundations, or really someone that finds fragrances really intense within my makeup. So I'm not sure why I had this experience, but I did want to share it with you guys. And I do hope that this review was helpful. So definitely make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you did find it was helpful. I definitely hope that you will subscribe if you enjoyed the video. If you do enjoy more detail-oriented reviews and videos, I would love to have you on my channel. And with all that, I will hopefully see you in my next one.